Are you ready, or what are you doing over there? Just reading the paper. You're gonna have to. This is your first time, I know, but you're gonna have to get a little closer there. Say hello.
Hello.
That's my mama. It's Baptist Betty, the much talked about Baptist Betty, joining us this morning. You have a good morning?
Yes, I did.
Was my apartment nice and clean?
Well, yes, it was pretty good.
The bathrooms were clean, weren't they?
Yes, they were. Very.
Very good. My mom's just going to hang out with us here a little bit this morning. And I told people yesterday they had any questions for you, that they could email them, and that I'd ask you, as long as they weren't too tough. And I'm not about to do anything live because I don't trust these people, and they try to embarrass me. So we're not going to do it. But I do have a couple of questions for you, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Let's see.
First of all, from Dolores in Boonville. Dolores wants to know if I'm your baby.
Absolutely.
I'm the baby. 41-year-old baby.
41-year-old baby.
Biggest baby you've ever seen.
Just about.
Was I a good baby? Was I fussy?
No, I think you were pretty good baby.
Yeah.
Pretty even-tempered.
Yeah. And was your favorite, too, right?
How far does this broadcast go?
He can't hear us. My brother listens online sometimes.
He should be busy right now, so I guess I could say you're my favorite.
Very good. Mom's going to hang out with us this morning, and I'm going to ask her trumped-up questions like that the whole time, plus a couple that you've sent in this morning. Today's Best Country, Clear 99, Brad Paisley, and I'm still a guy. It is 8:49. Clear Country Morning with Uncle Scotty, and Baptist Betty joins me for a bit this morning, just because she's never been in here while I was doing this before, so we wanted to come in, had a couple of good questions, talked about me being the baby, talked about you being a Jayhawk fan, yet still rooting for Tigers when you can.
Could I add something about that terror, you being a terror business?
I guess so. Go ahead.
Well, I just remembered.
Well, hang on, because some people did. A lady called and asked. She said, because Mom said that I was a pretty good baby, not too fussy, and the caller wanted to know if after I got to walking, did things change, and was I a terror? So now, what do you got?
I hope she's still listening, because I remember when you were in the 3rd grade, the principal called all the parents of the 3rd graders in because they were giving the student teacher a terrible time. They were okay for the teacher, but when she left the room, and you were one of the ringleaders, do you remember what your dad said?
Yes, I do.
He said, just give one of them a paddling and you can start with Scott.
That's right. Yeah, this was back in the days. It probably wasn't as controversial as it is now.
That's true.
But the principal was in there, and the principal was sitting at this table with all the parents and said, what are we going to do about this? And the way I heard the story and the way I envisioned the story was it took about 2 seconds for Dad to say, well, I'll tell you what you do with my son. Whack him on the backside. Not all of the parents in the room agreed with that.
That's true.
But we straightened up after that. There were no other problems.
Oh, absolutely.
Whose idea was it for you to come in here this morning? I can't remember. Real quick, too, another thing that I hadn't even thought about that we could hit on for just a minute was we're talking about the St. Jude Dream Home, and you getting your tickets. You guys have heard me talk about before that my oldest brother, Chuck, who passed away 12 years ago, does that sound right?
14
years ago. Was a patient at St. Jude Hospital when in 76
and 77.
When he was like 16 years old,
16,
something like that, and he went to St. Jude, and so Mom's got that experience, and it's interesting. We were just talking with Sam, the builder, that it's so much different than it was when you went down there.
Oh, yes.
And some of the things that the money that you help raise goes to pay for things that we've talked about, like the homes where, or the hotel-type things, settings, apartment-type settings where parents can stay so they don't have to have money out of their pockets. And way back then, they didn't have as much of that. And I remember you guys borrowed a motorhome from a guy at our church and slept in the parking lot pretty much for the summer, didn't you?
Yes, we did. It's just amazing down there, and it's devastating enough to have a child, but you be told that your child has cancer. But when you think about the treatment, the drugs are just so expensive, and you could just hardly survive something like that. And so when they say, here, this is all free because of people who care about kids, it's just overwhelming. So it is a fantastic place. It gave us our son for 17 extra years, for which we were grateful, and it's saving lives every day. And so if you can possibly buy a ticket for this, the money will be well spent, I can guarantee you.
And I'm not going to know the percentage of stuff, but the ILSAC, who is the arm that handles this stuff, is very efficient. It's not one of those things where 50% of the money goes to administration costs.
That's right.
I mean, they really use the money for what it's meant for, which is the
Yes.
research and all that sort of thing.
Yes, and they have come a long way. When we first took Chuck down there, they told us his chance of survival was about 25%. And he did survive that cancer. He did die 17 years later, but it was a different kind. It was not the same thing. So. And
one of the things I've said before is the good part about it was that was 17 extra years for us, number one, but then he became a teacher. So the lives that he touched as a teacher.
Oh, yes.
You know, so that's why these things just keep adding up. So, okay, Baptist Betty recommends the home. You've seen it. We haven't got to go inside, but you've seen the outside.
Oh, yes.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
It's beautiful. And if you have a chance to go to the open house Saturday or Sunday, why, do so. It's wonderful.
Mom, we went up there last night just to take a look at it, and Mom was out of the car up by the windows, looking inside the windows, trying to see the inside. But you can't win it, sadly.
No.
Because you're immediate family.
I told him I'd buy a ticket, but he told me I wasn't eligible.
You can't win.
So if you're eligible, do it.
Right. There you go. If you want any information on that, go to clear99.com. All of the information about the Clear 99 St. Jude Dream Home Against some open house. In fact, I'm going to be there tomorrow from 10 to noon broadcasting live, and I think this time I'm going to try to remember to bring a basketball because there is a hoop there as part of the home, and last time I was there, some of the builders and I were standing around wishing we had a ball to do a little hooping. What are you mouthing at me over there?
The cookout.
Yeah.
Is not going to be tomorrow.
Oh, I think Sam said it was going to be Sunday.
Sunday.
He said that after as he was walking out.
Right.
So at some point this weekend there'll be a cookout. You just know that, and you can have a hot dog. All right. Well, thanks. I think you've got things to do. If you're wondering who this other person is talking, it's my mother. Just wanted her to come in. She's never sat here and watched me do this before. So good to have you.
Thank you. I enjoyed being here.
Thanks for coming. You like Columbia, don't you?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Mom got to go to her first big-time football game last year. That was
and tailgate parties. Tailgates are wonderful.
She'd never seen that before.
Oh, it was amazing.
Not the big college kind of tailgate.
That's right. Little college, yes, but it doesn't compare to big college.
Right. Mom would look over and she'd say, well, they've got ribs over there. And then she'd walk a little bit. We'd walk a little further, and she's like, well, they're frying catfish over there. We go a little further. They're making sub sandwiches over there. And we stopped at every one of them, didn't we?
Well, almost.
We got a little something to eat. Very good. All right, well, have a safe trip home.
Thank you.
It's good to see you.
Thank you.
A little later this summer, and I'm sure we'll have time to talk about this too. Mom and I are going on a cruise together, so we'll do that. We've talked long enough. We'll get back to some music here.